Hey guys, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey,
Hello all, good morning.
hey, good morning. One minute, okay, let me share our screen. Okay, guys. So last class we discussed about the network security groups and application security groups. Okay. So what is the difference we found it? What is the network security group will do? Any idea?
Network security group, it means at subnet level.
Okay.
Application security group will be inside, means if any particular servers, we can add that servers in the application security groups and we can allow the traffic.
Okay. So network security group is basically it is control the traffic on subnet level or NIC level. NIC level means server level. So you can use the network security group on subnet level. You can control the traffic. What type of traffic we can control? We can control the port level traffic. We can control the IP level traffic. We can control the definite subnet traffic. Different type of traffics we can able to control within the subnet. Okay, within the network. So we can able to control the server level also. You can able to specific server if you want to control any traffic, you can use the NSCs. Okay, network security groups. Network security group is a free service which is provided by Microsoft. There is no charge if you implement a network security group. Okay, so that is an advantage we have it. Application security group is nothing but so you want to allow the traffic or deny the traffic to the specific set of servers you want to within the subnet. We can create a isolated virtually isolated those servers to allow or deny the traffic to those particular group of servers. So application security groups will help for that. Okay, you can see here the statement is application security groups allow you to group virtual machines and define NSG rules on that group. Do not need to manually maintain of explicit IP addresses. So if you create a application security group, you can add any IP within that group. So for example, you want to allow the traffic to the specific group out of this particular subnet. Okay, you want to allow the traffic only for this particular set of servers. Okay, and within the subnet, you can virtually isolate, create this group virtually. That will have application security group will help on that. So you can add any server. It is not depends on the which server is in this particular application security group. It doesn't matter. Okay, what are the servers you added? Automatically that rule will be applicable. Okay. AG introduce ability to deploy multiple applications with the same subnet and also isolate traffic based on the AG. This is the one of the example. So if you have multiple applications and within the one subnet, you have subgroup of servers here, some group of servers here within the same subnet. So you have some application, you can maintain this all these servers for one application and all these servers for one application. So you want to allow the traffic to only for this particular application you can control with the ASG. So same subnet, you can able to control the traffic with the help of ASG. Okay. So this we already discussed and we already demo this one, right? So today we are going to discuss of the pairing. What is a pairing? Why this is required? Let me pairing. What is the meaning of pairing and what is the advantage of that? So in what scenarios you are going to use? We are going to discuss about that. For example, you have multiple networks in your region. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Okay. So we have two networks here. This is the network one, like vnet one. This is the vnet two. Okay. So we have some subnet here inside this network. And we have one more subnet. So I have some servers here. Okay. So by default, I want to communicate this server to this server. Can I do it or not? Can we able to communicate the server which is located in vnet 1 can connect the server which is located in vnet 2? Can we able to communicate or not?
We can do with IP routing.
IP routing is we cannot connect even the our IP routing. So how we are going to do that? Is it allowed to connect or not? Because this server have a private IP like 10.0.0.4. Okay, this server maybe have 172.168 dot some 0.4. Can we connect with the private IP from here to here? Is it possible?
I think only with public IP only we can connect.
Public IP is required. Okay, I have a private IP. Is it possible to connect? Hmm? So what is the default rule if you have a private IP? So how the request is come from here to here? The request will go out from this VM through the internet. It is trying to reach here. Okay, that is the way you are going to reach to connect the server. So we already discussed this one, right? If any request come from through internet, so any internet request will allow to enter into your network with private IP or not. So I have a private IP for the server. Can private IP can receive the request from the internet or not? Yes or no?
If it is from public IP, it will receive, right?
I don't have public IP. I have only private IP. This is private IP, right? 172.168.0.4. So
In
can
that
I
case,
receive?
no.
In that case, no.
No.
No, right? We cannot receive any request which come from internet, right? So by default, we cannot communicate. So how I'm going to communicate? I want to communicate. I require to communicate the server which is in this network to this network. We need a pairing option. Pairing will help. So you are able to connect the server, log into the server. If the server have a public IP, you can able to connect the server. Once you log into server, you can able to connect this server with the private IP. If you create a pairing. Pairing means you are connecting, establish the connection between these two networks with the help of pairing. Okay. So this scenario, you are able to communicate with the private IPs, not with the required to communicate to the public IP. We connect this server or you can connect this server, public IP if you have it. Then you can try to connect the server with a private IP. You can do that. Otherwise, you can do that. Okay. So the communication will happen within the private IPs, not required any public IP to connect the server from here because you've done a pairing. Okay. So in what scenarios you go with the pairing and what is required? For example, we have different um, network models. We have it in Azure or any network concepts. Okay. So we have like, um, hub and spoke model. Um, we have mesh model. The different topologies we have it. Okay. Hub and spoke. This is the very popular network model topology, which you are going to wisely used in any network. So in hub and spoke model, we have a network here and we have multiple other networks. Okay. So this network is connected to this network. This network also connected to this network. This network we can call as hub. This network we can call as spoke networks. So, um, so we will discuss more about the we are going to connect to the on-premises or something like that. So this is the hub network. We have spoke networks. We are doing, we are creating a peering in between these servers, these particular networks with the help of peering. So the advantage is like some of these, this is the one of the cost-effective solution. Like, for example, um, you have some one network, we have some subnets here, okay, and some servers in this particular network. You have um, three to four networks like this. Okay. This network we are going to use for the application servers. This network you can use for the databases. This another network we can use for the web servers. Different purposes we are creating different networks. Okay. So if you want to connect this server, this particular network connect to your on premises. Okay. So we require some devices here like VPN gateway and blah blah blah, many things. Okay, and you want to connect this one more spoke. You need one more VPN gateway. You have it. So then only we are able to communicate from your on-premises data center to your cloud network. We'll discuss deep into that later. Just for example, I'm going to give now. So here you can see for on-premises data center to connect your network in cloud, we require a VPN gateway. Okay. So each and every network you want to connect to our on-premises, we require different VPN gateways. So VPN gateway is a service is very costly. So if you have 10 networks in your cloud, you want to connect your on-premises data center, we required 10 VPN gateways to connect it. So instead of, it's a very costly affair to connect our data center to the different networks in our. We have, for example, the customer have offices in different regions. They have a branch in US, they have a branch in Australia, they have a branch in Canada. So they want to connect your on-premises data center to these networks. You require a VPN gateway for each network. So VPN gateway service is very costly, right? So instead of doing each VPN gateway for each network, we have stopped this. We are creating one spoke network. We are creating one VPN gateway here connected to your on-premises data center. Your on-premises data center is connected to this VPN gateway. From this VPN gateway, we are connecting all your spoke networks. So single VPN gateway is enough to communicate all your spoke networks. So how these networks are connected to your spoke, a hub network with the help of peering. So peering will help to establish the connection between the two different networks. Okay. So this hub and spoke model, if there is no peering, we cannot use a single VPN gateway to communicate all your sub networks, whatever you have in it, right? It is not possible. So this hub and spoke model will help to establish a hub and spoke model. We require a peering. Without peering, we cannot set up this hub and spoke model. This hub and spoke topology will help to reduce the cost. You can see without hub and spoke, we require 10 VPN gateways. But if we go with this, only single VPN gateway is enough to communicate all your networks. So how these networks are connected to hub network? With the help of peering. So these scenarios, we require a peering. So otherwise, we require not required any peering. Clear, guys? Why the peering is required?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Ajay, Anil, Praveen. Is it
Yeah.
clear? Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So this peering options, how we are going to implement, we'll see. Okay, how we are going to communicate each other. I'm going to create two networks now. So let's see how we are going to implement this peering options. So, but we default, you can remember that. For example, the same, you can remember this one. So what are the prerequisites you have to communicate each other? For example, I have two networks, right? I have one network. I have one more network. So I want to communicate, establish a peering in between these two subnets, networks. So what is the prerequisite? The IP address range. For example, this network also the same IP address range. So I have one subnet. I have one subnet here. So I have one server. So what would be the first IP address of this particular server? For example, 10.0.0.4. The same way I have one more server here. So what would be the IP will get it from this range? 10.0.0.4. So can we communicate these two servers? Even though you are establishing peering, can we able to do that? I have 10.0.0.4. This server also have a same IP address, 10.0.0.4. Can we communicate or not? Yes or no? Anything is fine. Just tell me. Is it fine? What do you think? What is your answer and why it is? So this is the way, guys, you can learn it. Otherwise, it is difficult. Whatever you think, you can tell me. So give the answer. What is the why you are thinking of that way?
We can do that one because in between host will be there, right?
Hmm? What do you have?
Host means
Peering.
host.
Host.
Pairing.
Okay. Peering is there, but here
Not the host, hub will be there, right?
here is no hub actually. If you even though hub also there, see that the problem is even though hub and spoke is different. Hub and we have spokes. Okay, for example, you can communicate these two establish communication. So for example, this particular range also we have same range, and this is also we have same range. This is also we have a same range. So you establish a peering in between these two. So for example, I have server, I told you that 10.0.0.4. I have 10.0.0.4 here. So with the same IP, can you communicate each other? Is it possible?
Same maybe we cannot now.
So you have a one phone number. Okay, for example, you have one phone number. So Praveen also have a same phone number. Can you able to can I make a call?
No,
Impossible, right?
no.
Both have a same number, cannot communicate. Okay, is it possible or not? Realistic. Both have a
Yeah.
same number. How can you communicate? We cannot communicate, right? So if you want to establish a peering also, what is the prerequisite?
We
Both
need different
networks
IP.
cannot have a same IP range. That is the default we need to remember. This, for example, this particular IP range is 10.0.0.0/16. This also can have a same IP range like 10.0.0.16. You cannot establish pairing. This is not possible to establish a pairing. We cannot do that because IP address range cannot be overlapped or cannot be the same to establish a. So why it is not possible to pairing? Because definitely we have a same IP addresses servers are in the two networks. So if you the both the servers have the same IP address, you cannot communicate, right? If you have a same address range, what will happen? Definitely you will get a IPs from this range only, right? Definitely you will get a there is 100% chance they have same IP range IP address for two different servers. So if you have same IP, you cannot communicate. So there is no point of pairing. Correct or not? You got a point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So this is the prerequisite. Before pairing, so definitely the interviews they will ask the question like this. If I have two same address IP ranges, can we able to create a pairing or not? Can we able to communicate two servers which are in different networks with the same address range? We cannot communicate each other. It is not possible because both have the same IP. We cannot do that. Okay. So that is a prerequisite. We need to remember that. Let me connect our network portal. Let me connect that. So let me create a two virtual networks now. You can go to virtual network. I want to create one resource group. So create vnet1 east to s2. This is I'm using 172.0.0.16 and one default subnet. Okay. Create. So now I have vnet1. Let me create one more network. Same resource group, vnet2. Next, next. So here I'm going to use different address range. It cannot be the same, right? 172.168.0.0/60. Okay. The subnet name, if you want to use the same, or if you want to change it to different subnet name, that is your choice. There is no issue at all. Okay. Now next. So now you can see we are creating two different networks with a completely different IP range. It cannot be the same, right? One is 10 series, one is a 172 series. You can see, go to virtual networks. I have two networks, vnet1 and vnet2. Okay. So I'm going to create two servers here. VM1. This is Windows server I'm going to create. So I'm going to allow the traffic for 3389. So this particular server I'm going to put into the vnet1, and the subnet is default subnet. This subnet I'm going to deploy this VM. So I'm allowing the public IP for this VM because first I want to connect one VM, right? So just I put the public IP for this particular VM. Okay. So next is so I'm going to create one more virtual machine. You can create multiple tabs, guys. If you know it in the real time also, this VM is creating. If you close this one, it will failed actually. It will be cancelled. So you can create duplicate tab. You can start deploy one more virtual machine or one more service, whatever you want. You can do that. No need to wait until that is complete. Okay. You can do that. So I'm going to create VM2, right? So not record all these things. It's a Windows server. Going to give password. Okay. I allow it port number 3389 for take RDP. Now this one. So here I'm going to deploy this on vnet1. This is the app subnet. I'm going to use it. So this particular server, I don't record any public IP. I make it as none. No public IP for this particular virtual machine. Okay. Then review. Create. So as of now, what we have done, we created two networks like this 10.0.0.0/16, 172.168.0.0/16. We have one subnet here. I have one more subnet here. This is the default subnet I used. Name is called. This is app subnet I have given. So I deployed VM1. I deployed VM2 here. So I provide a public IP for this VM because I'm trying to connect from a laptop. So without public IP, I cannot connect this VM from outside of this network. So I'm trying to connect this VM. First, once I connect this logon to this server, from this server, I can try to connect this server. Let's see, is it allowed to connect or not? Okay. So without creating a pairing. So after creating a pairing, is it able to connect or not? Both the options we can try. Okay. So let's go back to our demonstration here. Still VM2 is going to create now. So let me connect VM1. VM1 is ready. Let me connect VM1. Okay. So now you're able to connect the server VM1 now. Okay, this is the VM1 which I connected. You can see VM1. So now I want to connect. Let me check VM2 is ready or not. VM2 is ready. Okay. So this VM does not have a public IP. Only private IP it has it. What is the private IP of this server? 172.168.0.4. This is the first IP. This server got it. Let me try to connect from the VM1, which is located in a one network. Okay. So I'm trying to connect from here to different network virtual machine. So how I'm going to connect? You can type here
MSTSC.
RDP has. You can use RDP. You can
It
create
won't read MSTSC how to type.
and MST is not required here. We have remote desktop connection is there. By default, it will install it, create this service. Okay. So I'm going to put the IP 172.168.0.4. This is the private IP of virtual machine 2, which is hosted on different network. Let me try to connect that. Connect. It is not allowed to connect because that server is have a private IP. You try to connect the server from the different network. Okay. So how you are going to connect my laptop to this virtual machine with the private IP? It is not allowed to connect, right? Because it is not receive any private IP. It is not receive any request from the internet. So that's the reason it is not allowed to do that. Okay. So let's go back. Let me do the peering for between these two networks. So I have two networks, right? VNet1 and VNet2. So you can establish a peering from any to any, from here to here or here to here. We can do that. So two connections will be established at the same time. I go to the VNet1 under settings. We have an option called peering. Okay. So click on add. You can give VNet1 to VNet. You can give any name just for our understanding purpose. You are going to create. Okay. So I'm in VNet1 now. I want to connect doing a peering for which network? VNet2. Okay. The same time, you can create a reverse also. VNet2 to VNet1. Okay. So we are going to connection between these two networks and two connections will be established. VNet to VNet1 to VNet2, VNet2 to VNet1. So once the peering is established, this server can communicate this server or this server we can communicate this server. Either ways we can do that. Okay. So there is no need to create multiple times. One section you can create two connections. Okay. So now I'm planning to create VNet1 to VNet2 and VNet2 to VNet1. Add.
So here we have only 2 minutes. What if we have many minutes? Then what?
we can create peering. So that's what I'm
So,
trying to do. We have a hub, right? We have a
mm-hmm.
hub. If you want to connect this particular hub, let me open that. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you have a hub network, n number of networks can connect to this hub network. You can create multiple peerings from the to the hub network. We can do that. Okay. Same way, because this is a hub network. You want to connect this. So only one connection is there between these two, right?
Yeah.
No multiple networks. So one more connection from this to here. One more connection from here to here. So only two networks, only one connection. That's it. These two, we have one connection. These two, we have one connection. That's it. You can create that.
Can you see on the portal like how can we do?
Yeah, we can. The same way, what we are going to do, right? Pairing, the same way we are
Mm-hmm.
going to do for any network. So you can feel like VNet 1 is a hub, VNet 2 is a
Okay.
spoke. The same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do the same thing for any network. So you can see here, one connection was established, VNet 2 to VNet 1. Okay, VNet 2 to VNet 1. It is connection. You can go back to our networks here, VNet 2. You can see VNet 1 to VNet 2.
Mm-hmm.
Two connections were established with a single shot. Okay, so now between these two connections to networks, the connection will be established with the help of pairing. So vice versa, we can connect from servers from virtual network 1 to virtual network 2 or virtual network 2 to virtual network 1. You can communicate each other without any issues because two connections are established. Okay, now let me try to connect the same IP, private IP from the VM1. Connect. Now you can see it is asking user admin and password. Okay. Let's take some.
So for this VM, the amount is getting delivered in dollar.
Here, there is rupees only.
Or because it's in East USA region, so like they'll give
Mhm.
is in a dollar bill or in rupees. Like how?
It is East ES2 or not like that. You are going to, when you create a subscription, right? There we need to
Mm-hmm.
select which country currency you want to billing
Okay.
for your subscription. Okay,
Okay.
you select the Indian rupees, the bill will be generated on Indian rupees only. If it's selected dollars, the billing will be generated in dollars only. Okay.
Okay. So we can just power off the VMs and we can use later now. So there'll be no charges.
Yeah, but for example, the server is your stop the server, but the IP address is if you provide any public IP for that, that will be charged.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that is the so many people are saying that I'm stopping my virtual machine. If that does not have any public IP, there is no issue. If it has a public IP, that will be charged. Okay, why it is not see anything here? Do that. You can see. Now you're connecting 172.168.0.4. That is VM2. Okay, from VM1. So we have two servers now, VM1 and VM2. This is the VM2 is loading now. This is the VM1, 20.122.40. So we are connecting to the public IP to the VM1, and then we are going to connect any other servers with the private IP, not with the public IP. So we can see, we can simply connect the 172.168.0.4. Okay. So you can connect the same vice versa from 172 the server to connect the VM1 with the private IP also you can connect. You not require public IP. You can connect with the private IP. So now what happened, right, guys? So you can see, just remember that we are connecting, we are establishing a connection. The peering is connected. So once the peering is able to connect, so I'm able to connect the server from this server. I'm trying to this server with the private IP. Okay, whatever the private IP this server have it, I'm able to connect from here to here because of pairing. If I disconnect this pairing, immediately the connection will be disconnected. That we can see that. For example, I try to delete this. We have an option called delete. So you can see immediately this connection will be, server will be not reachable. You can see that. As soon as so now I disconnect the two connections between these two networks. Let me, you can see immediately it will be disconnected. The server, you cannot connect now. You can see the connection has been lost attempting to do reconnecting your session. So if you try once again, then it is not allowed to connect. Clear, guys? How the peering
Yes.
works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, clear.
So here we need to remember two things. First thing is the IP address range cannot be overlapped or not at the same. That is a first prerequisite. And you can connect, for example, one network in east to US2, this location. I have one more network west to US2. Okay, or South India East, something like that. South India. Anyway, this one more VNet 2 in South India, VNet 1 in East West. So can I establish a pairing? Yes, we can establish a pairing. Any network to any network all over the globe, you are able to establish the pairing. So this pairing we can call as global pairing. So normally we can call, because these are two different regions altogether. Okay, but as of now, what we did, we created two virtual networks on the same region, East to West only. You can see here, both are in the East to West, same region. We are able to establish the pairing. But even though one network in one region, another network in another region, still we can able to establish a connection with the help of pairing. So interviews, they will ask this tricky questions. I have one network in East to West. I have another network in South India. Can I establish a connection? Yes, we can do that with the help of pairing. Okay. But in the older days, previously it was not there. Recently, like 3 4 years back, it was started. So we are able to establish a connection from any region network. Okay. So tomorrow, we are going to start with the load balancers. This is one of the important topic we need to understand how we are going to implement secure your backend servers. So we will discuss more about that. Okay, one by one. Why these load balancers are important? How many types of load balancers we have? So how this load balancers will help to the backend services. All these things we are going to do that. So you can see in this scenario what we are supposed to do. Actually, we gave the public IP of the server and then we connect the server, then we can able to use this. But is it, if I give a public IP of the server, is it secured? No, you cannot give a public IP to the server directly. That is threat. Anyone can access the server and can do like any hacking or anything like that. So you cannot expose the server directly to the internet. So what else we can do? How we are going to connect from internet? So we have different options like load balancer or different options. We'll see tomorrow how it works. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop here. We'll continue tomorrow from here. Okay. I think tomorrow is Saturday. Are you able to, if you are willing to connect, we can connect. Otherwise, Monday. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I will ping you if you are willing to connect. All are available. We can connect. Otherwise, you can connect on Monday.
We'll connect on Monday.
Yeah, we'll connect on Monday. Okay, guys.
Oh,
Bye.
Thank you.
thank you.